What up everybody, this is Animu Games 101 here, and today we're going to play a game called Cursed Sight. Now, this game just recently came out on Steam, and I don't honestly know what's it about, but if I remember correctly, I do believe the creators of this game are also the ones who did a game called Without Within. That game was, the Without Within one was about a calligraphy artist trying to make a living, but I haven't played that game yet, but I will probably play that game sometime soon. So, yeah, let's get started. Oh yeah, and by the way, I am technically in full screen right now, but this window just doesn't, the window you're seeing now just doesn't get any bigger, so you're gonna see black bars on each side. That's how it's gonna be like. So anyways, growing up poor, I'd always watch with envy whenever kids in my neighborhood rode past on rickshaws. Today, I finally got my chance. I just wish the circumstances were a little different. The rickshaw clattered along the gravel path, giving me a headache. Of course, the driver had to make things worse with his off-tune humming. This place might be called Melody Way, but that gave him no right to offend the very essence of music. "We're almost there," the driver said without turning to face me. Eyes on the road, as they said. I would admire his professionalism, except he kept blowing at the rickshaw for a breather. The drivers in my hometown could beat this guy in a race with one arm, but that was a thing of the past now. East Taria was my new home, or prison more like. Mom and Dad, thank you for selling me to the temple. We love you more than anything in the whole world! Anything except for coins, it turned out. I bet they were spending that money for a holiday. Man, you got some terrible parents. As the rickshaw drove along, I passed stall keepers shouting discount offers for their fruits and veggies. One of the shopkeeper had his eye turned. A couple of kids stole some apples from his basket. Such a thing would never happen back in West Taria. I hope I'm saying that right. Bells hung all around the houses on Melody Way, jingling under the breeze. This must be why people call East Taria the city of bells. Bells that sound soothing, at least for now. Give it a week and I'd probably want to impale my eardrums with a toothpick. Oh, that sounds painful. The rickshaw slowed as we approached the building ahead. Its size dwarfs that of any other structure on Melody Way. This must be the East Tarian Temple. East Taria's symbol patterned the windows frame, as if to banish my western origins. So we're in East Taria, I guess? The driver put down his rickshaw. That will be saving coins! Now we're saving gold coins! I pulled up the purse Mom had given me for this ride. She left me 5 coins and silver ones, no less. Love you too, Mom. I avoided the driver's gaze as I showed him the purse. Shoulda known better than to trust Westarians, the driver grumbled. Kid, I'm taking you to the guards. The driver was right about me being a kid. But then, he should be an adult and let things pass. Instead, he grabbed my wrist and tried to yank me off the rickshaw. I wriggled my hand to try and break free, but to him, I probably felt about as strong as a dieting cat. Okay. I don't know, cats are pretty vicious. I don't want to do that to a cat. I'm sorry, I'm a wimp in that area. If the guards locked me up, I doubted my parents would bail me out. I heard executions were legal in East Taria. The thought made my legs go numb. Damn! I met the driver's groomers with one of my own. I don't know what gender this is yet. King Loke has business with me. If you want your coins, go talk to him. The driver let go of me, and now it's his turn to dodge my gaze. If he troubled the king over such a trivial matter, the temple might take his head as compensation. Ooh, is this a bluff? The driver snatched away my coins, as well as the purse. He pushed me off the rickshaw, mumbled a few curses, and drove away. I brushed dust off my pants in an attempt to look cool, but in truth, sweat had stained my palms despite the cold weather. Yeah, I'd be nervous in that situation too. I turned to face the road I had just passed. Despite all this being my parents' fault, I still yearned to see them running after me, telling me how sorry they felt. They were, of course, nowhere in sight. Man, you got some dick-ass parents. I slapped my cheeks to snap out of it. Your new life starts here, Gaia. I waded up to the temple doors, almost slipping on a rotten leaf on the way there. I didn't know leaves were... Well, okay, I guess leaves are slippery, but... 2 guards stood barring the temple entrance. Their 6-foot stature allowed them to fit inside those heavy armor. The East Tarya symbol on their shoulder plates reminded me they hailed from an unfamiliar culture. I swore the ground shook as one of the guards took a step towards me. The spear in his hand made me tremble. Those caps the guards wore fluttered in the wind, but those guys looked more like villains than heroes to me. How tall is this person?
Go bake somewhere else, boy.
The guard shooed me off like a fly. A chance to explain myself would have been nice. I lifted my chin at the opportunity to show him up. King Loke invited me from West Tarya to serve in his temple, I said.
Right. A new slave then? Name?
Sure, apology accepted, jerk. Gaia. The other guard chimed in. Ah yes! The king told us you were arriving! He desired you to help with looking after Miyun! He exchanged chuckles with his colleague. Sucks to be you, kid! In you go! I waited to see if the guards would escort me. One of them dozed off on his feet, an ability he must have picked up during his years of service. The other guard filed his nails with a spear, just as the blacksmith had intended, no doubt. I stomped past him in an attempt to look tough, but I stepped too hard and rolled my ankle. As I limped past the front gates, I feared the guards might close them and squash me into a meat pie. I strode through the garden before doing a full lap around the courtyard. With several dozen doors around, I dared not enter a single one. I ducked under some of the lit windows in case anyone inside mistaken me for a thief. Well, I don't know they would mistake you as a thief considering that you made it past the guard. Well, I guess no, if you were serious about it, you could get past the guards. With my head surveyed back and forth, I soon bumped into a guard and fell into my backside. The guard, still as a castle walls, tapped his spear against my chin. You picked the wrong place to rob, but I'm feeling generous, so crawl back to your little hole before I change my mind. I no longer had a home, or hole, whatever insult the scum wanted to hurl my way. You should just pierce my throat with that spear and be done with it. Gaia, new servant. The guard clicked his tongue but lowered his spear nonetheless. Follow me. At least he had the ever so wonderful heart to offer me guidance. I climbed back onto my feet and trailed him along the corridor. Okay. Keeping a distance in case he decided my attitude warranted a spanking. A spanking? Wouldn't you get stabbed by the spear in his hand though than a spanking? The guard led me into a dressing room filled with suits and dresses that might be worth more than a house. A set of crumpled clothes sat on the carpet, looking completely out of place. Smeared with dirt, they could easily pass as towels used to wipe the wooden floors. Let me guess, it's going to be your new clothes. The guard snatched these rags off the carpet and shoved them into my arms. Go get changed and hurry up about it, you're already late. Well, to be fair, I never expected to receive one of those expensive suits. I had that rickshaw driver to thank for my lateness. No point in explaining it myself now, though. I shuffled into a change room in the corner and slid the curtain closed. Alright, I'm gonna say now, I apologize, guys. I'm gonna mess up all the guards' voices. They're not main characters, so... Anyway, after stripping off my clothes, I checked out these garments the guard had handed me. The standard East Taryan red from top to bottom with East Tarya symbol stitched behind the shirt. There we go. Suddenly, the curtain slid open, and I blushed upon seeing the girl standing outside. Aside from my mother, not once had anyone from the opposite gender seen me in the nude. Oh! Okay, so I must be male then. This girl's clothes matched the ones I carried in my arms, so she too must be a servant. Those oversized pants she wore made her look about as feminine as a water barrel. Don't say that to her, buddy. Her pigtails could have looked cute, but those flies circling over her unwashed hair ruined the look. Oh. The girl's gaze lowered toward my pants. Where they would have been had I had a pair on. She let it aside and walked out as if I'd disappointed her somehow. Was I not the victim here? She's probably seen a lot to be just desensitized to it, buddy. I yanked the curtain back closed. The force ripped the curtain off one of its hinges. I poked my head out to see if the guard had noticed. Good thing he had his head turned, sniffing at a skirt on one of the coat hangers. What the fuck? Okay! I quickly slipped on my shirt and pants to avoid another intimate encounter. The shirt's sleeves almost reached my fingertips, so I rolled them up and made my wrists look like spring rolls. Okay. I had mocked that girl's oversized pants earlier. Well, karma must be real because they looked even bigger on me. I looked as if I had balloons cramped inside my pants. A pair of shoes dropped in from under the curtains. I guess the guard had forgotten about them earlier. These shoes had bells tied in the front to couple each of my steps with a jingle. Oh, to announce your presence, perhaps? I put on my shoes, and with a single step, I took to exit the dressing room. The left one came off. Cursing under my breath, I thrust my foot back into the shoe before trying to walk again. This time, I dragged my shoes along the carpet to stop them from sliding off. The heels still kept popping out, but it would have to do. I returned to the guard, who hurled away the skirt he had been sniffing. He glared at me as if to say it was my fault he failed to keep his fetishes behind closed doors. Dude, to each their own. The guard swirled around and stomped out of the dressing room. I assumed I was meant to follow him, so I did just that. The guard muttered complaints all the way to the end of the corridor. I stood before a set of doors embroidered in gold. The East Harrier symbol sat in the middle, glittering under the sunlight. Whoever resided behind these doors must be mighty important, so that ruled out any chance of this being my bedroom. Well, you can hope, buddy. The guard pointed at the door. This is Mignon's room. Get in there and introduce yourself. No, I gave this guy a deeper voice. Whatever. Before I could ask any questions, the guard trotted off with a shudder. This Mignon character scared even a grown man, and now I must step in alone. Remind me to never send Mom and Dad any postcards. I looked out at my East Harrier garbs. If I snuck out of the temple now, I could fit into the crowd. But with no way of earning coin, I'd be forced to steal food like those children I saw earlier. Well, depending on your fate, that actually may be better. I reached for the doors with my trembling hands. Just as I was about to knock, I heard muffled yells coming from the other end. Something, or someone, banged against the doors from inside, making me dart back. Was Mignon inside that room right now? I foresaw him meeting an 8-foot mammoth that dined on servants' limbs as a pastime. After whispering farewell to my arms and legs, I slid the doors open. 3 bodies rolled out and crashed on my shins, making me stumble. The bodies untangled just enough for me to see a middle-aged woman with 2 guards wrestling to keep her under control. Upon spotting a knife in the woman's hand, I crawled away and told my back at the wall. The woman struggled to break free from the guard's grip. Give me back my boy, you monster! I followed the woman's eyes to see who she was addressing. Hi. Well, I guess she's cute. Yeah, I think she's cute, but I don't know about her character. Anyway, a girl sat on her knees in the middle of the room. She had both hands resting on her lap, as if unaware of the chaos unfolding before her. The hat she wore came attached with a veil, but she should still be able to see what was going on. She can see through that? Oh, okay. The girl sat on the carpet with an East Harrier symbol that almost covered the entire room. Considering the doors outside looked so fancy, this room was much smaller than I anticipated. Wait, she just sits in that small-ass room all day? Wow, okay. On the far end was a veranda with railings that reminded me of prison bars. Cabinets filled the walls on either side of the room. Their circular handles resembled eyes spying in from another dimension. Oh, never mind. The guards lifted that knife-wielding woman onto her feet. Mignon is East Harrier's treasure. By the king's orders, you're under arrest. The woman thrashed and screamed as the guards hauled her away. So, this girl must be Mignon. Judging from her height, she must be no older than 10, around my age. In other words, why should I be scared of some kid? Oh, so he's 10 then? Okay. I had no idea if Mignon was looking at me thanks to that veil covering her face. As I edged towards her room, smoke came out of nowhere to sting my eyes. I gazed down and spotted incense burning in front of Mignon's knees. Waving the smoke off my face, I stepped through the doors. Hi! The bells on Mignon's hat clanged as she looked up. She also had the large bell tied around her neck, like a collar on a pet. Mignon tilted her head, perhaps startled by my unfamiliar face. The guard that did order me to introduce myself, so I might as well. The name is Gaia. Mignon slumped onto the floor. Did she finally fall unconscious from the shock earlier? Talk about a delayed reaction. I worried for Mignon's well-being, but more important, I feared for mine. If the guards thought I had harmed her in any way, well, I had a good run. You got there like 5 minutes, okay? Mignon opened her mouth and spoke to me for the first time. I'm thinking I should give her a very delicate voice. How does a 10-year-old girl sound like? Blankets. Blankets. Third cabinet's left. I can't do a soft voice, guys. Oh. What, did my introduction suck so much that she would rather go to sleep? Shaking my head, I walked up to the third cabinet on the left wall. I pulled the door open and indeed found a blanket tucked inside. Even the blanket had gold patterns running along its edges. What a spoiled brat. After flicking off a worm crawling on top, I pulled out the blanket and threw it over to Mion, covering her from head to toe. Cannot breathe, came her muffled voice. Yeah, I lowered the blanket down to her neck. Her breathing seemed steady, but with that veil on, I had no way of knowing if she'd fallen asleep. Why are you treating her so disrespectfully? Hey, Mion. I whispered as I tested, but received no response. Stupid, fat, ugly Mion. Still nothing. She sure fell asleep fast, considering someone tried to stab her only moments ago. She's probably observing you. As I exited the room, Mion's voice came trailing after me. Never speak to me that way again. Ah, crap. So, she did hear. I stepped out and shut the doors behind me. That knife-wielding lady from earlier had disappeared from view, replaced by a trio of servants sweeping the corridor. All three of them swung their brooms in sync, as if they had no consciousness of their own. After I introduced myself to the servants, they shared with me the daily joys of being a slave. Testing food for poison, battling venomous snakes, you name it. Watch out, world, for my future shone as brightly as the sun on a stormy night. Oh, we got an achievement. Treasure of the East. Why do I get the feeling that maybe this girl's lonely? That must be the Emperor. Night came, and a servant escorted me into a storage room crammed with sleeping servants as well as crawling bugs. Alright guys, I'm going to leave the first episode here, but it's intriguing. I don't know, I guess my first impressions of this would be that maybe this girl is lonely, considering that she's... I don't know, I feel that in a lot of like mangas or visual novels like this, when there's a girl like alone in a room like that, even though they have a lot of power, that emotionally they're very lonely. And as the main protagonist, we're going to be that close confidence. That or we're just going to be a punching bag. Anyways, enough of me rambling. I will hope to see you guys later, and thank you for watching this. So yeah, see you later.